back to league action for the Mariners this coming Saturday afternoon as they head to Nailsworth as they host Forest Green Rovers. And in this video we'll be having my match preview towards the game and my thoughts on what will happen during the game. But also in this video I did mention in my review of the FA Cup tie that I would also be talking a little bit about the manager situation and the runners and riders in that, and maybe who I'd like to see as manager, who, you know, and get you guys thoughts at the end, and to leave comments for me down below on who you would like to see as manager of the football club. That's all to come in this video. So what we'll do, we'll start straight away with the match preview between Grimsby Town and Forest Green. That takes place, like I said, on Saturday over in Nailsworth, and like I said, using again soccerpunter.com for the head-to-head stats for this. Just want to give them a shout out. They do some great stats and some great work on their website. To even tells you exactly the exact days away from the game. But as we look into Grimsby's form, Grimsby have won the last two games, obviously. 2 wins and a draw and 2 defeats in the last 5. But it's only 1 win in our last 5 league games, which is obviously at this point the most important. Well, Forest Green, they haven't done as bad. They've had 2 wins in the last 5. You know, fairly similar form, really. And Forest Green just haven't got to grips with League 2 this time around. Obviously, they got relegated last season, so they've, you know, could you class this as a hangover? I don't know. Could it be the fact that it's finally catching up with them a little bit? Maybe the size of Forest Green as a football club probably caught up with them a little bit. One big surprise in the summer for Forest Green was when Troy Deeney joined them as player coach after leaving Birmingham. A very, very strange appointment in a regard, but in some way. I know he was linked to possible return to his first club, Walsall, really, but he ended up going to Forest Green, and like I said, they haven't really got to grips with League 2 as of yet. Both sides are in poor form, but in the last 20 meetings that have happened, Forest Green have won 7 of them, while Grimsby have won 9 of the last 20 games. So with 4 draws in all that. So and there's a goal difference of, for Grimsby, scored 26, conceded 25. So that means 45% of the matches that have been played between the two, Grimsby have got the upper hand. Forest Green have a 35% win rate, while the draw is obviously, get the maths right, Dino, get the maths right, about 20% or so. So, you know, this could be a tight game. I expect this to be a tight game. But again, I sort of, I think that, you know, that they've not had the best of form period at home. I know that they're able to knock Scarborough at the FA Cup last midweek, so that was an important result for Forest Green, and this is going to be a very, very difficult game. And like I said, I wonder if Troy Deeney will start for Forest Green. I'm going to wonder, you know, they need goals, so possibly being a striker himself, I'm sure he'll want to. I'll just take you through a few of the only the last 4 results between the Mariners and Forest Green. And we'll go back to 2019, August of 2019, when Forest Green won 1-0 at home. And in the return in the start of February, it ended up with a 2-2 draw. It was 1-1 at half-time in that game, but it ended up being 2-2. Last time out when they played in the 2021 season, Forest Green did the double. They won 1-0 in October, 27th of October, 2020, a 1-0 win at home, and then also won the return fixture in the March of a 2-1 win for Forest Green. So they actually are unbeaten against Grimsby. The last time Grimsby got a victory over Forest Green was in 2018, and that was, of course, the JJ Hooper hat-trick right at the end of that season. And actually, that was the last time Town did the double on Forest Green. So we actually haven't beaten Forest Green since May of 2018. Like I said, we've played 6 games since then against them, and we've only picked up 1 draw in that time. So Forest Green, in a way, in recent times when we've come up against them, they've been a little bit of a tricky bogey side, really, where Grimsby just cannot seem to get much from it. And, but obviously, not being in the form that either side have been. But I think, this makes this very, very interesting. And, it was kind of a shock to see them down as low as they are. But from the outsiders looking in, but I think if you look a bit deeper into it, it's not really too surprising. I've seen a lot of people sort of preview Forest Green before the season started, and I think a lot of them expected them to be around about where they are. But like I said, the form for Forest Green haven't been that good, so much so we can sort of say that the longest winning run for either side is 1. So that's sort of telling you that, longest losing streak, it's 4 for Grimsby and 6 for Forest Green. This is the stats in League 2. The longest run without a loss actually has been 5 games for Grimsby, only 2 for Rovers. Longest run without a win is 5 games for Grimsby, 6 games for Forest Green. The clean sheets is 3 each. Matches over 2.5 goals in them, Grimsby with 9, Forest Green with 10. So the stats are basically living up to possibly maybe a bit of a goal fest, really. Town have failed to score 4 times in 4 games this season. Which actually is not a bad record, to be honest with you. Forest Green 5, the biggest victory for Grimsby 2-0. 5-0 is the biggest victory for Forest Green. Obviously, Matty Stevens is Forest Green's top goal scorer. Danny Rose has become our top goal scorer, and Tyrese Amatoye is actually Forest Green's main top assist getter this season. And you can kind of see the struggles of both sides as we look at the table. Grimsby are down in 21st place, so 4th bottom, 17 points from 17 games. That equates to 4 wins, 5 draws and 4 wins, 5 draws, let me get this right, 8 defeats. And Forest Green, very similar, played 16 games, won 4, drew 1, lost 11. They've scored 18 goals this campaign, conceding 30. I mean, people are probably thinking, is this going to be a real scrap? I think it could start to be a scrap. I think if Stevens and Deeney, especially up front, can get going for Forest Green, they could cause our defence quite a few problems. Because again, the stat that I keep going back to with Grimsby is that, you know, no league clean sheet since September the 2nd. Any team will feel at the moment as though they could score against Grimsby, and but again, I also feel as though we could score a few against Forest Green. This could be a high-scoring game, you know, and we hope to keep on the upward curve. I do fancy Grimsby to do this, but stats would lead me to believe it could be a high-scoring game. And you know what? I'm going to go for a bit of an erratic score here. Because Grimsby Town can't defend. We cannot defend. Forest Green can't score. So people would probably say, well, that probably means about a 1-1 draw. I'm going to go for something nuts. I'm going to go for Grimsby Town to actually win this 4-3. Because like I said, I trust Grimsby to score. I just can't trust us right now to defend. Obviously, it's obviously still going to be checking out on a few people with injuries. I will come back after the press conference and do just a standard Grimsby video about obviously the team news for the game. This is just basically me quickly running through what I think will happen. Forest Green and so we both need wins. I think Grimsby are going to get, like I said, I'm saying 4-3. Only, like I said, only due to the case that we can't seem to keep a clean sheet as far as we can throw any team right now. But you know, we've got that 4-point buffer. But really, we could do with a bit more than a 4-point buffer. So I think that, you know, I believe Danny Rose will start if fit. He always does. So I think Danny Rose will start. Obviously, we're without Otis Khan and Aboisa. We're without either of those two guys due to them being on international duty. Harvey Cartwright looks like he'll continue in goal unless there's any unforeseen injuries. But it's this back line. Do Grimsby start Harvey Rogers? Or who could really? Should it be Rogers or should it be Waterfall alongside Marr? I'm not convinced with either, if I'm completely honest. I think just Rogers. And I'd probably give Anthony Glennon a start in this game as well. I think you know, he's come on the last couple of games and he's actually done really well. You know, and I think, you know, we need his. If he's on form, we need his sort of delivery, because Rosie and that seem to really, really feed off Glenn's delivery. I'd also keep Jamie Andrews in the middle. I think Jamie Andrews is doing a great job in the middle for Grimsby. Obviously, all this is injury depending. I'd probably start at 2. I'd probably go Danny Rose and possibly Donovan Wilson up front for this, unless he saves him for next Saturday when he comes up against his former club. But I'd probably go Danny Rose and Donovan Wilson up top. But it's that central defensive partnership. We'll find out whether Mishi will be available again for wing back as well. But it's that centre of defence that concerns me. And what we've got to do as a team, whatever it is, we've got to be more organised defensively, because teams will be looking at Grimsby right now going, we can score against these, and that is a concern. One thing we have to do is our midfield's got to be strong. I think Jamie Andrews should be in the middle. Clifton, the good thing with Clifton is you can put him in any area in the middle of the park and he'll do a job for you. I'd probably go Jamie Andrews and Gav Holohan if Gav is fully fit as the midfield sort of two. Probably if you're going to play Harry, if he's back from injury, you could probably play Harry as a floating player in between the lines kind of player, because obviously we haven't got the width at the minute with Otis and with Abbo being obviously unavailable due to international call-up. So Grimsby have got options, and Grimsby seem to, and Ben and Sean seem to know exactly what way they want to go. Try and give us a bit of a smoother afternoon though, lads, please, because like I said before, we can't keep conceding 2 goals a game, because it's going to be very hard to keep scoring 3 or 4. But we've already shown that we've got the capabilities to do it. We just need to shore that centre of defence up. I think once we do that, I think we'll be okay. So I'm going for a 4-3 win. People might say that's a bit of a crazy scoreline, but it's one of those that I can't see the side keeping a clean sheet. So I think for me, it's a 4-3 win. And get your comments down below on that. And what team would you guys go for going into the weekend? If you were Sean and Ben, and everybody was available that could be available, what would be your 11? I'll be interested to know what you guys honestly think. So 4-3 for me. So hopefully another win for the Mariners, but try and keep a clean sheet, boys, if you can. We need to go through a game with little fuss, because at the minute, even though I know Grimsby can score, I also know Grimsby will concede as well. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you, Soccer Punter, for the stats there. But get your comments down below on your scoreline for the game, and also think about what your starting 11. If everybody was available, obviously take Abbo and Otis because they're not available due to international, but everyone else that could be available, what would be your first 11? Would you bring Harry back in, or would you start Jamie Andrews like myself? Let me know down below what you think. And secondly, in this video, we're going to talk about the managerial situation at Grimsby Town. And with this, it's kind of very yo-yo-ish. I've been keeping an eye on, as all fans have done, sort of like the betting for who might be favourite. You can never always go on bookies, and heard sort of rumours of certain managers who might be in the running, might not be in the running. could be close, might not be close. It's an intriguing time to be a Grimsby Town fan. I've got a question for you fans as well about this, but we'll go through what I've seen so far. People have obviously seen this in Danny Cowley is favourite still to take over as Grimsby manager, but I've noticed that Sean Pearson has shot up in the betting. He's actually 3-1 for a new manager position. It's kind of gone quiet. So I've all gone quiet over there in regards to any other serious names coming out. Obviously Nathan Rooney is still reasonably in the reckoning, as is Justin Cochran as well, and then you've kind of like got 8-1 bar after that with David Artell, David Healy and Ben Davis and Phil Parkinson. No, not that one, but the older one, Phil Parkinson. Is this going to be a difficult decision to make? I personally, and this is my personal take on it, I don't want Sean Pearson as manager. Like I said, I want him part of the coaching staff as I do Ben Davis. I want them at the club, but I don't want them as first team coach or first team manager or whatever we're going to be called this time. They're doing fantastic, and obviously if Town's form continues and the next two games are Forest Green and Sutton, if they win those two, then yes, you'd have to consider Sean Pearson and Ben Davis as a tandem. Of course you would. But as much as I would back the lads if they did, I just want I want a fresh voice. I was talking to somebody that I worked at Hospital Radio with on Tuesday night. I came across him as I was walking to the ground, and we were talking a little bit, obviously about Paul Hurst's departure and things like that, and he was kind of like in the same agreement that we probably need a completely fresh voice and fresh ideas, even though Sean and Ben they have let the shackles off. I don't know about who really is favourite and who isn't. Danny Cowley is at the minute at 5-4, but if you know betting, that's favourite, but that's not odds-on favourite. But it keeps flip-flopping. No one really knows, because obviously we don't know who the higher-ups are talking to. There's all these rumours, and as soon as a name is brought up, ironically they go high up in the betting odds. Justin Cochran was a prime example. He became a name that shot up in the middle of last week, and he went from, I think he wasn't even in the betting, to a 10-1 shot. So it's what I find funny is when people put up a certain name, obviously betting companies get wind of it, and if they see fans talking about it, or they always end up in the betting, whether they are being spoken to. But what I like about this is, and I've said this to friends of mine and people at the games, I think we're in for a better overall quality of coach than we probably would have been, well, than we definitely were under the previous regime. I think the club in itself, as an overall club, is far more appealing to coaches now than what it was 3 or 4 years ago. You know, even the talk of Danny Cowley or young coaches such as Nathan Rooney and Liam Richardson and things like that, and David Healy and David Artell, really realistically, whether they are being interviewed, we don't know, or have been. You know, you just really don't know. So I would probably say it is a far better pool of coaches that I think we're being linked to than in previous times when looking for a coach. So I'm intrigued as to which way the club's going to go. Like I said just then, I don't want Sean and Ben to get the job. That doesn't mean I don't want them at the club. It just means I don't really want them as management. But, you know, if they are given the next 2 games and they do win the next 2 games, you have to consider them. You know, they have to be considered, even if you don't want them or you do. They'd have to be considered. You know, if they can go all their time in charge and win all of them, you know, you've got to consider them. But I feel we need a whole new, fresh voice. So, guys, what's your opinion on the managerial situation? Are you guys for Sean and Ben? Would you like someone completely different? Like I said, the only thing I think that goes against Sean and Ben is our defensive organisation is no different to what it was under Paul. Don't let the 7-2 over Slough fool you. We didn't defend very well. The real times that we were called upon, we didn't defend that great. So I haven't seen improvement defensively. However, I have in the tempo of our attacking play. For me, not Sean and Ben. For me, anyone else. But that doesn't mean that if they did go that route that I would not back Sean and Ben. But what are you guys' opinions? Do you want Sean and Ben to be given the job permanently? Should they be given the job permanently? And if not, who? We'll ask this a 2-part question. Who do you want as manager of Grimsby Town or head coach of Grimsby Town? And who do you think will be head coach of Grimsby Town? It'd be interesting to get your views on that. Who you want as Grimsby Town coach, but who you think will become Grimsby Town coach. And is there anybody at all that you wouldn't back if they were hired? So it'd be interesting to get your views on that. I know this has been a bit of a long-winded video of me waffling on, as we do, about Grimsby Town, and well, you've got to, haven't you? I mean, it's Grimsby. You never know what you're going to get. And we're like a box of chocolates, aren't we? You never know what we're going to get from Grimsby Town. But do leave your comments down below. Please do interact with me, and I will get back to you guys as soon as I can. Any questions you have for me, do leave them as well in the comments down below. I will read them, and I will get back to you with responses as soon as I can. So once again, the final time before I clock off is basically, who do you think will be manager of Grimsby Town or head coach? I'll get you saying head coach now, of course. but also who would you like? Doesn't matter who it is. Who would you like as coach of Grimsby Town? And also going back a little bit, don't forget, give me your predictions for the game at the weekend between Forest Green and Grimsby, and your starting 11. So please do like, share, subscribe, hit that bell, that'll let you know when I upload a new video, and all that good stuff. Get hold of me on all my social medias, and I will see you guys very soon for another video. Any news breaks in regards to management or anything as of that nature, I will do a video on that, so as we know something. I know they've kind of left the door semi-ajar for the fans forum, which is coming up. I'll do a video on the fans forum actually. I'm intrigued to see how that goes. They've just said a member of the first team coaching staff. Obviously there was the rumours that apparently Danny Cowley was there on Tuesday. That, I think, is what made Danny go favourite for the Grimsby job, but nobody knows. But all those things. So we'll go over them one more time. So basically your prediction and team selection that you'd go for this weekend's game. I also then want to know who you would want as Grimsby Town manager, but who you think will get the role as manager / head coach of Grimsby Town, and all that good stuff. So please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and that is me done. I am going to shut up right now, and if you are going to Forest Green at the weekend, do enjoy it. I will be watching. I won't be there, but I will be keeping an eye on proceedings down in the Gloucestershire area. So it is a goodbye from me. I'll see you soon with another. I have got a League 2 preview coming up actually. In the next will be the next video. Will be the League 2 preview. So keep an eye out for that. Any League 2 followers of me, and I will see you guys very soon. Wow, what a long one.